Stole a ton of my thunder.
Thunder's outside.
Voting likewise. My name's Scot Courtney. I'm running for the 428th District Court, which
you
is.
Turn that on if you want.
I prefer not to. Everybody can hear me, can't they? Okay. Which is the District Court for Hays County. Hays County has 3 other district judges, but they're on the circuit. We share them with several other counties. This particular bench was created almost 6 years ago at the behest of the sitting judge that's on it now. He lobbied for it, had it created through the legislature and our county commissioners, and then received the appointment from Rick Perry. And that's how he has come to become a judge. I moved up here from Houston 6 years ago. My wife and I chose to move back to Hays County because that's where we wanted to raise a family and spend the rest of our lives. I attended Southwest Texas State in the 80s, received my degree there, and then moved back to Houston to go to law school with full intention to move right back. But I fell into the practice of law with my former partner there in Houston, and our practice was primarily criminal defense work. We traveled all over the state, including several other states in the federal courts. I'm board certified in criminal law. I've been involved in over 150 trials and have practiced in over 48 of the 254 Texas counties. My practice takes me all over. One reason why I've chosen to run is I want to be in Hays County, and I want to dedicate what I've learned over all those years to Hays County. I'm board, like I said, I'm board certified. I'm only one of 3 lawyers in Hays County board certified in criminal law. None of the judges that I'm aware of, certainly not the district judges are, and certainly not my opponent. Many of the things that hopefully Judge Kuhn touched upon, I planned on talking about, quite frankly. This particular race is about who should be judged based on their qualifications and not some political merit-based appointment. People many, many times have said, gee, I know Bill Henry. He's a nice guy. He is a nice guy. He's not evil. The problem is he just doesn't have the academic background or the independent nature to sit on that bench. He very much allows the political winds to push him towards whatever decisions he's coming to. Just out of curiosity, I prepared his report card. And I have looked at the things that I think voters should look at when they're looking at who sits on their bench. And that's why I brought you all this, because I too agree that most people aren't interested in who their judges are. They don't know them. And therefore it's a difficult race. But if the people that are in the community that do know what's going on can speak out, tell a neighbor, that's why I brought you this. And specifically, and I'm sure Judge Kuhn, his eyebrows will twitch when he hears this, Judge Henry's appeals, that's cases that he's decided at some point, and one of the parties has appealed to the Third Court of Appeals, actually. There's been a little over 30 of them. He is reversed, remanded, or modified 36% of the time. Well over 1 in 3 comes back to Hays County for more work because the judge made an error. The state average is 19%. All the judges in the state of Texas is 19%. Now, you can ask any lawyer, that even seems a little high. But you can ask any judge, if their number is anywhere over 10%, they get itchy. That's a big number. And that's a direct reflection on a judge's opinions, how he rules. There's some other numbers in here that I think are curious because these are the numbers that he took to the county commissioners and the legislature supporting the position that we needed another district court 6 years ago. But yet those numbers have not changed one bit for the good. Hays County still remains, as this shows, in the bottom quarter of those statistics. Now, these statistics reflect directly on a judge's ability to manage his docket, the administration of his court. So you have a reflection of the two most, in my opinion, the most important things a judge can do. Rule correctly, know the law so you can rule correctly, and administer your docket. So it's not an easy job, but if you focus on those two primary goals, you'll be very successful. Now, that's why I prepared this. It's easy to look at, it's easy to read. When you talk to somebody, say, why should we vote for him or why should we vote for Scot Courtney? I've given you a reason why we shouldn't vote for Bill. The reason we should vote for me, I agree, it's nonpartisan. Anybody running for a judge, the only thing that they're beholden to is the law. Follow the law. Be fair. You don't bring a political agenda to the bench. You just don't. Judge Kuhn, I'm sure, agrees with that. I know Judge Bowling does. So I will speak to just a little bit about the county courts generally and the state of the judicial system in Hays County. I can tell you, Judge Bowling's, I guess, reflections on the court are somewhat enlightening to me as a lawyer. From a lawyer's perspective who practices in that court, they seem to be very efficient. They do have a high caseload, but they move through their docket. It moves efficiently. Their staff is extremely available to help with whatever's going on to move the case along. They are always there, always. When you need a judge or you need to talk to staff, it's easy, very easy. So when they say they're overburdened, they may very well be, but they don't show it. I think they do it. I think they do a very good job. Now I'm basing that on the fact that about 30% of my business is here in Hays County. I travel all over the state. I've seen how they do it. I've seen how they do it in Harris County. I was there for a decade. And I've seen how they do it in Menard County, where that courthouse is barely open. So I've seen how it works in all the courts. And I want to bring what does work here. Because Hays County stands right now in a position that if we're not ready for it, our court system will become extremely overburdened. Luckily, we are getting a new facility. That will help. It's definitely a step in the right direction. But I've been in many counties who did not have the foresight to do that. And they are paying dearly with dockets that are exploding that they can't deal with. Montgomery County is one of them, north of Houston. It's exploding. Their case docket is out of control. You can't get to trial in 2 years, no matter what kind of case you have. Now, some of the things that Mr. Kuhn touched on about politics and this partisan feeling, I do want to touch on a little bit. One of the problems I see on the bench presently is the impact or the influence on the bench politically. Now, yes, how is that happening? What do you see? Well, a comparison in political races, mine and his. My political race, I have not asked a single person to donate or contribute to my campaign fund. I've accepted some, but I have not picked up the phone and directly said, please give to my campaign. I don't think, for me, it's right for a judge to do that. In opposition, the sitting judge has called almost every lawyer that practices before him and directly said, I'd like to see you give to my campaign. Now, from a lawyer's perspective, it puts him in a very difficult position. Do I not give? How's that judge going to treat me later? Or I give, and hopefully I get something out of it. That's a problem. My opponent has raised over $50,000 for this particular race. At least six of his maximum contributors are lawyers that presently have cases before him. Two of them are Houston civil trial lawyers that have absolutely no connection to Hays County or him that I can find anywhere, maximum. One of them is a civil and criminal trial attorney that is the former Democratic chair of Hays County, who was the Democratic chair when my opponent was the Republican chair of Hays County. Now, I can't imagine the motivation of a civil trial lawyer who was the sitting Democratic chair to give to that court, other than he thinks it's just going to personally benefit his and his professional career. That's just, I'm open to the floor for anybody that can give me another. But that's just my position. My opponent is a member of every civic organization. He is very much involved in the community. Again, my position is judges, by and large, should try to avoid being in everybody's business, because those are the people that are going to come to you sometime when you're on the bench to make a hard decision. And if you have a dog in that hunt, it's a problem. And you better hope you got a friendly dog or you got problems. I don't. I don't get involved that way. I just don't think it's right. My civic involvement is not public, and I don't think it should be. I don't have a campaign treasurer. You're looking at it. I don't have a campaign consultant. You're looking at it. I don't have a team out doing my work. If you see a sign, I put it up. Period. I think it's important not to cash in on political chips to get a judicial seat, and that's just the way I see it. I ask you all, if you like what I'm saying, learn more about me. My website's out there. It's CourtneyForJudge.com. I'm on Facebook. Email me. Call me. I'll talk to you. Absolutely. If you got questions about something, give me a ring. No problem. Love to have you put up a yard sign if you support me. That's the name of the game. But I appreciate y'all having me out here. Like I said, I agree very much with Mr. Kuhn and his philosophy of the judges on the courts of appeals. I agree with him about the Third Court of Appeals. I also agree very much so with Judge Bowling and her positions on the court of law. As she said, there is a disconnect right now in the district courts. I don't know why. There is a disconnect between the sitting judge and the other judges. They're not working and playing well together. I think I can change that. I'm not of their party, but I respect the other judges. I respect their work ethic, and I respect their academics. I've sat down with them and talked to them, and I think I can work with them. And that's what it's going to take to make the district courts in Hays County try to get a better report.
You might point out that this B that he managed to squeak out at the bottom, that's actually the civil lawyers set their own dockets.
Yes.
So that's not even through any work on his part.
Yeah,
the civil lawyers do set
the
their
civil
own
lawyers very much control their dockets. A case can languish for quite a while, but the judge does not have as much control over how that case is disposed of. But in all fairness, I thought it was important to put on there. If I'm comparing these other numbers, I thought it was fair to put it on there. It reflects well of him, so be it. I don't mind that. I just think it doesn't reflect enough to outweigh all of the other negatives we have. But the F on there is well deserved.